What's up, guys, and welcome to Miranda Detailing. So in today's episode, we have quite the job. This 4Runner came in and it has rust overspray. And it's the first of maybe 10 to 15 vehicles that we have that came from a local corporation, a business. And I'm not going to go into all of the details, but basically it got rust overspray into a parking lot and covered a bunch of vehicles. They came to us to remove it because they were scrambling around trying to figure out how to remove this stuff. And did they have to repaint all the vehicles? And it could have been tragic. It could have been a lot worse. But in this video, we're going to show you how we remove that with chemical decon, and in this case, the Hybrid Solutions Rapid Decon. So will it remove all of it? Will we have to polish any of it? You'll find out. Guys, if you're enjoying videos like this, and I hope you are, consider subscribing and clicking that bell so you don't miss stuff. Now you see how nice it looks now. Watch the process.
Flashback.
So here is the job for tomorrow. Now this is going to be the first in a series of jobs. Look at that. This is rust overspray. This came from a nearby plant. And I won't go into all the details, but because I shouldn't. But basically, it spewed this rust overspray over 10 to 15 vehicles in the lot. Now, we did a test spot. We didn't get to use any chemical with the test spot just because of, getting all the water and the pressure washer and all of that. But I did a test spot just with a light hand polish, and it removed easily. So this is fairly fresh, within a few weeks. This should come out pretty easily, I'm hoping. With actually just chemical. I'm going to use the Hybrid Solutions Rapid Decon and just douse the vehicle in it, let it dissolve the rust, and hopefully just a light polish in any other areas that it couldn't remove. But it is everywhere. Paint, glass. It's also on the plastic here. That should remove it from the plastic as well. If it doesn't, we're going to have to figure out something else for the plastics. But the other vehicles that are going to be coming in have black gloss. It's all over the black gloss, you can see. So this will be the documentation of this job, because this is a pretty serious one. These vehicles need to come out as original. So making sure to document everything here. This is a 2021 and it is in excellent shape. I don't see any defects yet, but we'll wash it and then we will decon it and see what happens. Hopefully this will be easy. Maybe all of this will just come out in the chemical decon. So here's what we're going to use. The Hybrid Solutions Rapid Decon. Now it says all wheel cleaner and iron remover. Now don't be fooled. This is not an acid wheel cleaner. It's not even a high pH wheel cleaner. It's actually a pH of 5, which is closer to neutral. So it's not going to be cleaning in that aspect. What this does is it has the chemical sodium thioglycolate that is going to dissolve iron and rust particles that are embedded, or in this case, on the surface. In fact, this should be much easier for this to attack because that rust is simply sitting on the surface. So what we're going to do is fill this bottle, which is powered, which is awesome. No pumping, no compressed air, nothing. It is battery powered. You plug it in right there, you charge it, and you get to work. We'll fill this with the Rapid Decon. This will be our chemical decon. Now, we're also going to use a shampoo. Now, this shampoo right here by Decon, this is their Q2M Restart Wash. This is a heavy decon shampoo. This also has the sodium thioglycolate in it. You can smell it, and this also washes and decons the paint extremely well. Now, what we'll do actually is just a test. If we don't need to use this, because this is actually meant more for deconning ceramic coatings, if we don't need to use this, I won't. Because if the chemical Rapid Decon gets it and the paint is clean after that, we're simply going to wash it per usual and then do a super light polish to get anything else and address any of the other issues that that rust overspray may get onto areas that, I don't know, maybe the chemical for whatever reason couldn't attack or didn't attack, and then we'll deal with it there. But if we don't need to use that, we won't. What I'll probably use is a high alkaline cleaner as the shampoo. So we have either this, which is the super foam from Koshkemi. I think I'll probably just use that because it's a really good deep cleaner, and whatever we put on here, it's going to strip any of the protection that may be on there, if there's any waxes or sealants. It's going to clean the surface extremely well and get anything that's on the surface off. Then we can proceed with maybe a light polish, or if everything goes to plan, or even better than to plan, then maybe all we'll have to do is just wax it, and that's it. So we're going to get these jobs done for them the correct and safe way. So another thing I wanted to show you guys is this vehicle inspection and sign-off form. Now, this is actually the second of two forms that we have. We have the first one, which is our customer acknowledgement form, which they have to sign and fill out before we even book the appointment. That gives a lot of protection for us as the business, but also to them, basically giving them peace of mind to let them know that we are serious about our work. This also is very important. We walk around the vehicle before and after the job is complete, point out any defects. You see that there's actually 4 different boxes here because there's, essentially 4 different types of vehicles: your small vehicles, your sedans, your SUVs, crossovers, your trucks. Use whichever thing you need, whichever vehicle it is. And then you can mark down whatever defects and issues and write them down here. Make sure the customer sees them and acknowledges and understands that those defects were not from you, that they were already there. Document it well. If you have a phone or a GoPro or a camera, document everything. Go around the vehicle and show before you touch it, and then during and then after. Have your customer sign it. That way they understand once they leave the premises. Any other issues that they may find that they think might be due to us is not due to us. It is due to them. Once they leave the premises, you are on the road. Now the vehicle is susceptible to all sorts of things, rock chips and other things that can put little chips and little scratches in your vehicle. So for my customers, that's something that they have to understand. And really that's being reasonable, but you have to have a written form like this to legalize it, and really to help the customer understand that we are serious here and that we're not going to be liable for something that we did not do that would actually hurt us as a business, and you will no longer do business with us or any other detailers that we know in the area. Yeah, it's that serious. So for my detailers, this is very important. For customers or future customers, this is why we do this. We take our business very seriously. We want to protect ourselves, but we also want to show you why you need to take care of your vehicle properly.
24 hours later.
So let's pull this out and start the process. We're going to do our normal wash, our normal APC rinse and pre-wash, and then what we're going to do before we contact wash it is iron decon it. Like I had showed you before, we're going to fill the pump bottle up with the rapid decon from Hybrid Solutions. So this is just the APC rinsing or pre-wash stage using the IK foamer, and I believe we have super clean in here diluted 1 to 4, and it'll be a little bit more diluted once you apply it to the paint. Since we are in full sunlight and it is starting to get a little hot, we're not letting it dwell for many minutes, 30-60 seconds, and then it's ready to rinse off. Now with everything rinsed and pre-washed, now we're going to use the iron decon. And let's see if we can dissolve all this. Whoa, instantly, look at that. Instant.
I want to, holy cow.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's crazy. Hopefully that gets all of it.
I want to play.
So we're going to do one section at a time, or like, you know, sections at a time, because you don't want this drying because we are in the full sun. But get it over everything. Plastic, glass, every square inch of this needs to have that chemical on it. Now this you can agitate as well, but I can already see that it has dissolved it pretty much, well, all of it. We want to make sure that it's also going to remove off the black plastic. It's a little hard to see when it's wet, so go ahead and rinse it already, and let's see. So that got the majority of it already. You can see the difference. The color got brighter and all the rust overspray is removed. Now, of course, we still have to contact wash the paint, and we may do another application of the iron remover just to make sure we got everything. So let's continue. Let's do the hood, because that's a huge section and just instant purple. And all the intricate grill parts. Wow, that's crazy. I'm going to do the whole front area here and just get everything. I might have to adjust the spray pattern on this, but you get the idea. Look at that. That is crazy. But
Such a pretty color.
but it is making this job so much easier instead of having to polish everything, which we still may have to polish some sections, we'll see. But this gets the majority of it. Again, let it sit on here maybe 30-60 seconds. You don't want to let it dry, but you will start to see if, you know, certain corners and areas start to dry, then start to rinse it off. So that's doing a really good job, and yeah, it got the majority of it. I still see a little bit of the speckling that it left behind, but at least the water spots or those rust spots are gone. But yeah, it did leave some etching behind that will need to be polished out. Now that the paint is washed, we're going to do another quick iron decon on the paint just to make sure everything is gone. We're going to attack the wheels. Now I can use that same chemical on the wheels because it is a wheel cleaner, but I'm going to switch to the Oberk wheel cleaner just because I have it and I like it. So we're going to use it in the same way. It has cleaning power for the wheels, but it also has the iron decon in it as well. In fact, even if spraying on the paint, let's see if anything else reacts. And I also have their tire cleaner. So this is a new tire cleaner that they just released. And this will go on the tire itself. Instantly you can see it pulling off junk. It's very, very strong stuff.
Did the wheels turn purple?
A little bit, but not a ton. So again, that's a pretty good sign. Man, that overt tire cleaner is insane. All right, so the wash process is now complete, but we're gonna hit it once more with the iron decon. I had to fill it up a little bit more. We are using a lot of it, and a bottle like this does kind of tend to use a lot. So I'm going to try to use it sparingly, because it's just so easy to press the button and just go, and it just uses up so much chemical. So I'm gonna lightly go over some areas that I see.
Getting the hood again.
Oh, the hood? Okay. I'm gonna hit the glass up here because it was really, really bad, and up there on the mirror. A little bit, yep, still reacting a little bit. Basically just mist over really quickly with this. Don't overuse it, because again, it really will tend to use up a lot. So the fender looks pretty good. It's reacting more in the hood, and I believe this hood may have been repainted. So when we pull into the lights, I'll show you why we think that. I think it's doing a good job of removing all those particles, all that rust overspray. All right, I'm gonna do the rest here. Again, just a light application, but I'm gonna go over every square inch once again. There. It's a pretty nice light application. And I'm not seeing that much reaction. A little bit on the handles here. Again, good sign. Now, once again, this is not a high pH or acidic product, so there's no neutralizing that needs to happen. The product is already at a pH of 5, which is as close to neutral as it needs to be. So you don't have to do any type of chemical neutralizing on this. Even with the purple reaction, once that purple reaction has done its job, it stops and it will go back to a pH of 5. So we don't have to worry about that. This is not an acidic product. It's not going to damage the paint. This is actually one of the safest ways to remove that type of rust overspray or iron particles. It etched a little bit. Yeah. All right, the washing and deconning is done, and that rust overspray is about 90% removed. We'll see when we dry it. That's when you'll really notice if it's gone or not. It did a good job of removing the particles that you can definitely see and feel. It feels nice and smooth now. Also used the clay mitt. We used the Work Stuff clay mitt, and it really wasn't that bad, but I used it anyway to get any remaining little spots, and then we did a second iron decon. I think we are looking good. So let's wrap everything up, clean everything. We're gonna pull this in and then dry it and inspect it. So as we're drying it, it has still left little etching pock marks in here. So we're gonna have to do a light polish anyway. Well, yeah, I do kind of see it everywhere, but it's not. Wow, oh, it completely came off the glass. Yeah, it completely came off the glass and the plastic. Oh, that's great. That's really a good sign. All right, we'll polish that. So guys, let's take a quick look at the paint and see what we're dealing with. Everything is now towel dried, blown dry, and you can see those little specks there? Yeah. That means the overspray has just etched into the paint a little bit. Now, don't be discouraged, don't freak out when you see that, because that can be polished away. But yeah, see, this was repainted, a little bit fresher paint than factory paint, and no, this is a silicone ring, so don't worry about that. However, it's come completely off the glass, completely off the black plastic, which is such a relief. Yeah, oh, it did great. So all we have to do is dress that plastic. We're gonna address the paint. Do you see it everywhere, hun? I don't see it here. It's not like on the horizontal surfaces, or vertical surfaces, sorry. It's more just on the flat surfaces where it really baked in and etched. So that's good. That's actually a good sign. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it there, and it didn't etch the glass, which again, good sign. It means it wasn't on there long enough to do any permanent damage. And even if it did etch into stuff, again, it's still able to polish it out. It's okay. You don't have to worry about that. Even if I left it at that, no one would probably see the little tiny pock marks, but that's not what we do here. We are going to make sure that that is removed. We are making sure that no remnants of that rust overspray are found on the paint, whether the rust overspray itself or any of the possible little issues that it has left. So let's do a couple of little light polishing sections and let's see what we can do with this paint. Reach!
You're supposed to be doing this.
Reach!
It's your job. You won't stop talking to the camera.
Wait a second.
I'm just nervous. I want to
What is this?
measure just.
So the paint is coming out great, but the hood is definitely giving us some issues because it was repainted, and for whatever reason, the rust overspray etched into the hood just a little bit more than everything else. Actually, everything else, it didn't etch into it at all. So a light polish on the rest of it, easy peasy, it's done. It's the hood that's giving us some problems, but we're able to fix it. It is looking way better. Here's what it looked like before. Let's get a focus on it. You see those dots? That's just a little bit of the etching from the overspray. Move over here, and it's gone. In fact, all that's left is just kind of a poor paint job. You can just see a little bit of a fine orange peel. In fact, you can even see dust nibs right there. That's a dust nib from repainting. And that would need to be wet sanded out, but I'm not going to do that in this job. We are just having to use a compound on the hood because we have to remove that. There's no other way. We've tested it with just a simple polishing wax. We've bumped it up to a regular polish. Now we're having to use again, a gentle compound. And I know when some people hear that word compound, they think, no, don't use it on new cars. It's going to remove clear coat or damage something, or it's going to get hazy down the line. No, that's not how it works nowadays. Technology in products have changed dramatically. So you have to remember also this was repainted. In fact, the rest of the paint, we did paint readings, and it's also very thin. So yes, you don't want to go aggressive on the rest of the paint. Here the readings are completely fine. They're thick enough to actually compound and polish and be completely fine. But I would not compound the rest of the paint, not because it's brand new, but because I did readings on it, and we're looking at already below 4 mils on a brand new car. That is now kind of the going thing with brand new cars. They're going much, much thinner on the clear coat, so really you can't do too much. So yes, you don't want to go aggressive, but don't confuse the word compound with aggressive. It's all about the user and what they're doing with the compound. So this is actually coming out good. This is coming out great. It's removing the marks, and you're just left with a bad paint job. In fact, there's a wrinkle here where the hood scoop is. That was from the bad repaint. I don't know what that is, but that is not good. That is from the bad repaint. So I'm documenting all that stuff because that needs to be documented on a vehicle, on a job like this, to let the customer know. And like I showed you before, I'm also documenting it on our form here. So I made sure that that wrinkle on the hood scoop is made apparent here. Also, the entire hood was repainted. And any other issues that we find, I do see a few other little chips here and there, no deep scratches, but little just rock chips, but that's normal wear and tear. That I will also point out on that sheet to let the customer know. So what we're using for the rest of the vehicle is an orange pad, but we're using Glossom Wax from Phoenix EOD. So this is pretty much what we use today. Pop-a cut for the hood with a microfiber cutting disc. And then we use the orange pad because we just needed a little bit of polishing bite, but we use the Glossom Wax. Now, is this a polish? No, but when paired with a medium polishing pad like this, it does have a little bit of cleaning action. It will get rid of any other little light etching marks that might have been on the paint, glosses everything up, lightly polishes it, and we're looking beautiful without compromising anything. Because again, we did readings on the rest of the paint and it's all below 4 mils. Some areas are above 4 mils, but average like 3.8 mils, which is very much on the low side. So yeah, we did have to be careful. We don't need to compound anything if we don't need to. We're not just going to arbitrarily compound something or do something or polish something if you don't need it. So that's why we go with different aggressions. We will start with something very light and build up to there until we get the desired result and keep checking the paint along the way. So that's what we did to make sure that we're working safely here, because this is almost like surgical work. We're being very careful. We're taking readings. We're not going above and beyond with the aggressive compounding and polishing if we don't need to. You only need to do what you need to do to get the desired results. We're shooting for the overspray removal and gloss, and that's what we have attained here. So the Glossom Wax is amazing stuff. Easy on, easy off. You get 6+ months of protection. It's a Teflon based protection, so it's very heat resistant. And we also have, and I'm not going to use it on this job because it's not calling for it, but we have their Immortal Spray, which can be used on paint and glass and everything. And this is also very heat resistant, so great for wheels. What I'm gonna do is just a final quick detail as wifey goes around and double check stuff, as we usually do, is just use a little bit of Titan. I have a couple of bottles of Titan here. I need to consolidate them. But a couple of bottles of Titan. This gives you another 3 to 4 months protection or so on top of the Glossom Wax. Again, adds slickness, adds more gloss, adds more protection. The paint is now polished, protected, and looking incredible. This was quite a satisfying job. Now we are going over the vehicle with a fine-tooth comb and pointing out all of the little chips and things. There's a defect there. This is in the hood. Remember, hood was repainted, so there's a chip there. We have a chip, let's see, right here on the fender. These are just rock chips. These are not from us, of course, obviously. We have a chip right there in the middle of the door. We have a rock chip up here. And the bumper is peppered with rock chips everywhere. Again, this is normal wear and tear. This is from driving the vehicle. That's just normally going to happen. Every single vehicle, when driving it on the road, you're going to get rock chips. There's nothing you can do to avoid it. There is something you can do to protect your vehicle from it. PPF, or paint protection film. It's expensive, but if you have the money, you love your vehicle, you want it to be pretty much 99 to 100% defect free, then that's what you're going to do. You're going to pay for PPF or paint protection film to basically wrap your entire car or the whole front end. And if you do get those chips, it'll be in the PPF. You can peel the PPF off and your paint will be fresh underneath it. You can reinstall it, or when you go to sell it, then you can peel it off and your vehicle will look brand new. So what we did here is documented all of those spots, and if we see any more, we'll mark them on the vehicle here and have the customer inspect it, sign off, and we'll be good to go. So that's going to do it for today's video. Once again, this job was a success. Sometimes you have no idea until you start working on the vehicle what you're going to encounter. But the chemical decon, the rapid decon from Hybrid Solutions, amazing stuff. It's one of the most affordable ones out there. You can buy it in gallon form. And if you go to Car Supplies Warehouse and buy it from them and you use our code Miranda10, you'll get 10% off. I will have everything linked down below. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
So you don't miss stuff.